Hi folks, Ed Boston here from DTRT Wrestling News, and we are starting a new feature here on our YouTube channel. We're going to do some feature stories. We may do some interviews, several different things on the agenda that we're looking at. We're going to try to make our presence on YouTube a little stronger than what it has been, and so we're looking forward to that. Today's feature is about a gentleman who I have great respect for. Yesterday at Slammiversary for TNA, Kurt Angle was named the newest inductee into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame, following up with last year's first inductee, Sting. There were several options for TNA, and Kurt Angle is the one who they ended up choosing, and I believe it was an excellent choice. There were others that I would have thought were a good choice as well, but I have great respect for Kurt Angle. One of the reasons is because he's a true American and a real American and a patriotic American. You can see that in what he does, and in the video that they showed, you can see him on the stand at the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta, with tears coming down his face after he won a gold medal for his country. A long and distinguished career, starting out as an amateur for Kurt. He was, again, the 96 Olympic gold medal champion. He's one of four to compete and complete the Grand Slam of amateur wrestling. One of four in the history. He won the Junior Nationals Championship. He won the NCAA title. He won the World Championship. And he won an Olympic gold medal. What a feat. Again, only four people in the history of amateur wrestling have ever done that. He was also voted one of the top 15 wrestlers of amateur wrestling of all time. Amazing what he did as an amateur. As going on now, you may know that wrestling has been eliminated as an Olympic sport, and you may see t-shirts with Kurt doing what he can to encourage the Olympics to reverse that decision and to bring Olympic wrestling back. And can't think of anybody better to handle that cause than someone with the credentials that Kurt Angle has. Angle signed in 1998 with WWE, and then in 1999 actually made his in-ring performance debut. What a first year he had. Many call it the very best first year ever in professional wrestling. He won numerous titles the very first year. The European title, the Intercontinental title. He was King of the Ring and World Heavyweight Champion, all in year number one. Wow. Now I got to say, from personal experience, I was disappointed when the WWE brought Kurt Angle in as a heel. I'm thinking, here we have Mr. Patriotic. We've got a guy who stands for the things that I believe in, and they brought him in as a heel. If you've listened to any of our radio broadcasts, you'll know that if I can't stand somebody as a heel, that means they're doing a great job. And so when Kurt Angle started in WWE, I couldn't stand him. He was a great heel, and when a great heel does their job, I don't like them, which means I respect them for what they're doing. I remember going to a match at the Richmond Coliseum several years ago, and Trevor will like this because I almost always bring this up. In a cage match, and I'd have to go back and look and see if I could figure out through match archives from years ago. Kurt Angle was in a cage match with somebody at I believe it was a a live Raw event. It could have been a SmackDown taping, but it really doesn't matter what it was. In the cage match, Angle was climbed to the very top, and much like a maneuver in the video that TNA produced, he did a backflip maneuver off of the top of the cage right onto his opponent, which probably is the greatest move I have ever seen in person. It was amazing. It was one of those wow moments. One of those where you can't wait to get home and see the replay, watch the video, and that's the kind of in-ring performer Kurt Angle is. A distinguished career in WWE, got his release in 2006, moved on and signed with TNA. He became only the second TNA Triple Crown winner and the only one to hold all three of these belts at the same time. He was the world champion, he was the world tag team champion, and he was the X Division champion. That sounds like Hall of Fame material to me. In his speech last night at Slammiversary, which, by the way, he won his match, an outstanding match between he and AJ Styles, only fitting that Angle would win on the night that he is named to the TNA Hall of Fame, which will be actually inducted later in the year in October, I believe at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. But he mentioned something that's very dear to us here at DTRT Wrestling News. DTRT stands for Do the Right Thing, and we're a group of Christian wrestling fans. And Kurt Angle made sure that he gave thanks to his Lord for the accomplishments that he has made. He acknowledged his wife and an entire family, and while his in-ring persona is one of confidence, maybe even up to and including arrogance, when he is Kurt Angle the person and not Kurt Angle the wrestler, you can tell that he is very humble and very appreciative of all the God-given talents that he's had, the opportunities that he's had to shine, and the things that he's been able to do because of his involvement in not only amateur wrestling, traveling the world, but in the world of professional wrestling. We here at DTRT Wrestling News are proud to produce our very first feature being Kurt Angle as the topic. Again, this is Ed Boston for DTRT Wrestling News. You can find us online, dtrtwrestlingnews.com. You can find us on Facebook at Facebook/DTRT Wrestling. We'd love to have you like us there. We also have a Twitter account. You can follow us at Twitter/@DTRT Wrestling. And if you check out our website, there's other things that we do social media-wise. And so with that, congratulations, Kurt Angle, on your induction into the TNA Wrestling Hall of Fame. Now how about you guys all go out and do the right thing?